Greetings to everyone. So today we are going to start with our um, presentation with the Environmental Protection Act. So what is this Environment Protection Act? So environment owes its genesis to a French word environment, which means encircle. So it encompasses within its ambit land, water, flora, fauna, living creatures, forest, and everything about the earth. So environment all components surrounding land. So it consists of main two, that is physical and natural. So it may be noted that all this is perceived in the definition of environment provided by Environment Protection Act 1986. It states that environment includes water, air and land and the interrelationships which exist among between water, air and land and human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganisms and property. So the culmination of various international efforts initiated 38 years ago at Stockholm, where first historic international conference on human environment was held in 1972. So there is a major environment crisis of a global proportion affecting the physical, natural and human environment due to pollution of all kinds. So it is of serious concern to the international community that the greenhouse gases emissions continue to be on the rise. So the UN mandated Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says that by 2100, the global temperature increases will range between 1.4 degrees Celsius to 5.8 degrees Celsius. So mean sea levels may rise by 80 centimeters, inundating low-lying areas and smaller islands. So it has been predicted that there will be more frequent and severe heat waves, more intense tropical cyclones, changes in rainfall patterns, and melting of ice. So all these are the effects of environment, right? So enormous amount of gases, chemicals emitted by the industrial plants, automobiles, led to depletion of ozone layers. Right? Then the ill effect of acid rain can be found on vegetables, soil, marine sources, and monuments, as well as on human beings. So it is imperative that international community should be shaken from its slumber to be prepared to combat this environmental crisis by taking appropriate measures, which should not be only for controlling pollution but also for protecting and promoting the environment. So the 5th June of every year has an International Environmental Day given at the UN Summit on Environment and Development at Stockholm in 1972. So India has joined the members of international community in their crusade against environmental problems, first by amending its own fundamental law and then by following it up with the enactment of several laws to protect national environment. So the new constitutional provisions have given the necessary impetus to the environmental legislation in the country. So the state's responsibility with regard to environmental protection has been laid under Article 48A. So the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forests and wildlife of the country. Okay? So the environmental protection is a fundamental duty of every citizen of this country. So the environmental protection is a fundamental duty of every citizen of this country under Article 51A. So it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the nation's natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. So no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure. So everything has to be taken care of. So now what is this Environmental Protection Act? So it has Electricity Act in it, Forest Conservation Act, then Environment Protection Act 1986 was introduced as an umbrella legislation. So please remember this point that Environment Protection Act 1986 was introduced as an umbrella legislation that provides a holistic framework for protection and environment improvement to the environment. Okay? So SJVNL undertakes environmental impact assessment for all the projects as a standard management procedure as laid down in the Environment Protection Act 1986, and also functions within permissible standards of ambient air quality and noise levels as prescribed by national laws and international regulations. Okay. So other rules and regulations under Environmental Protection Act are, that is Air Prevention and Control Pollution Act 1981, Water Prevention and Control Act 1974, then Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Biological Diversity Act 2002, then Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Amendment Rules 2003, then Ozone Depleting Substances Regulation and Control Rules 2000. Then the Shore Nuisance Act 1853, then Sirais Act 1867, North India Canal and Drainage Act 1873. So this was made before independence, right? So all these things, Indian Forest Act 1927, Damodar Valley Act Corporation 1948. So all these acts are being made only to see that the environment is getting protected. Okay? So this is all about the Environmental Protection Act. Okay? Thank you.